everyone, my name is Sean, and in today's video and throughout this week I'm going to be taking a look at the Red Eyes Black Dragon archetype as piloted and feigned by the duelist Joey Wheeler from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, and also Alexis Rhodes' big brother, I think Atticus Rhodes. He also played Red Eyes as well, but it's definitely Joey's deck. Red Eyes Black Dragon is a very strange archetype. It feels like it's an archetype that's purely there for fan service, and there's very little cohesion between a lot of the cards here. We have too many different types of cards for us to be able to run this as a pure deck, because they just simply don't all work together. You've got ritual cards, fusion cards, a zombies synchro monster for some reason. You've got Xyz cards. You've got some really slow trap cards here. You've got a Malefic card here for some reason. Joey wasn't even in the Bonds Beyond Time movie, if I remember correctly, and yeah, why he gets a Malefic Dragon, I don't even know. But the whole point I'm trying to say is that when I was testing this deck over the weekend, I struggled with it very much, and running this as a pure deck is just not the way to go in my opinion. So I gave up on it. Now, I am going to show you a deck build that I am a little bit more happier with today, but before I do, later in this week I'm going to show you a deck profile as submitted by one of you guys, a subscriber, Diets Master, aka I just called him DM. DM was very kind enough to say to me, hey Sean, I've had some experience with this, here's a build, this is what it does, and would you want to give it a go? And I said 100% yes, I absolutely do. So after this video is done, I'm going to build that deck, test it out a bit, and then later on in the week, I'm going to give you a deck profile based on his ideas. But thank you, DM, for submitting your deck idea to me. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys want to do that too, feel free to hit me up. I'm always open to ideas. I'm only one guy. I don't know every card in this game, and so there's always things that will catch me off surprise. So yeah, my door is open. As for my own version of Red Eyes here, sorry if this is a bit lazy, but I'm basically playing Dragon Link Red Eyes. I know, I'm sorry, but the cards that you use in Dragon Link are just so good. They're really good. If you guys have not seen Dragon Link before in Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution, and you want to learn how it works and what the majority of these cards do, please go and watch the videos that I uploaded. I spent 2 weeks doing videos on Dragon Link and going into it in very fine detail, and there's a lot of cards in here which I talked about then that I'm afraid I just don't have the time to break down today. Please feel free to go and watch those if you would like to do so and learn a bit more about how Dragon Link works. Now, this didn't start off as Dragon Link. This was me just focusing on how to summon Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon as many times possible in a turn. Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon is a rank 7 monster. It cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has Xyz materials, and then while it has an Xyz material, anytime your opponent activates a card effect, you burn them for 500 damage. Now, having multiple of these on the field makes the effect additive and cumulative, so it goes from 500 to 1000 to a potential of 1500 damage anytime your opponent activates a card or effect, which is really cool because you can really scare your opponent and whittle down their life points quite quickly. Also, this card functions as an extender because once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach one material from this card to target a Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard and summon it, allowing you to extend your plays further and go into other rank 7 monsters, or even make a synchro or a link play depending on the situation that you are in. Now, normally guys, I will do a very deep breakdown where I'll talk about starters, extenders, removal, so on and so forth, but the reason why I'm not doing that here today is because simply this deck isn't finished. I'm afraid I've run out of time. I didn't get to test this as much as I did. I've only played this deck for 5 games online, and I at least like to do 10 games so that I know exactly what I'm talking about when I do my deck profiles, but unfortunately I just didn't get the time to finish my testing, and I have to make this video. So treat this as a draft. Feel free to use it yourself, and if you guys try this deck out and you discover some tech that I maybe wasn't aware of, I would love to hear it. Please share it with me. My door is always open. Feel free to hit me up in the comments of this video, and there are channels that I use as well, Discord and PSN mainly, so feel free to hit me up if you find better ways to play this deck. There are definitely things I still don't know that I like in this deck. I haven't even really tried the Guard Dragon combo with this deck, and I kind of want to do things like Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon, but we'll see. Anyway, let's go to the profile. Enough waffle, let's go for it. We have 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon, the main set card. You've got to have it in your deck, and it's required for another card we're going to talk about later on. Can I sort this out by relationship in this? No, unfortunately I can't do relationship on this. It would have been nice to group the cards a little bit more by what they actually do. Yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to go for it. So we're playing 3 Red Eyes Black Dragon. The best starter in the deck is Black Metal Dragon. This card is amazing. This little guy is not a once per turn effect. Anytime it goes from the field to the graveyard, you can add a Red Eyes card from your deck. Now the only real target we have to add at the moment is Malefic Red Eyes Black Dragon, but I really wanted to try other cards like Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon to see what other things we can search out for our deck to make Black Metal quite better than it already is. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because we are also playing cards like Monster Reborn and World Legacy Guard Dragon, which can summon it back, and that way you can get its effect and use it again and again and again, as long as you can keep on summoning in a turn. So I would like more than 2 targets personally, but I didn't get time to work out what they could be. Malefic Red Eyes Black Dragon is a version of Red Eyes that says, in order to summon this card, there must be a field spell on the field, and we're playing 4 of them. And to summon it, you must banish from your deck 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon. Now, we're playing this because it's an easy to summon level 7 monster, and it's just going to help you get to your rank 7 plays a little bit easier. I was trying out Art Brave Dragon, but it didn't come up yet, so I don't know how good this card is. But basically, when this card is in your graveyard during the standby phase, you can summon back a level 7 or 8 dragon monster from your graveyard. I kind of liked it for the extended effect, but also if this card is summoned from the graveyard, which you can do through Monster Reborn or Return of the Dragon Lords, you could then banish all face-up cards your opponent controls. And we don't really have many options for back row removal, so I kind of wanted to use this. I was also thinking about doing White Dragon Spirit as well, because that can also banish a card on the field when it is summoned from the graveyard, but still in testing. We're playing the Chaos Dragons, Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, and also White Dragon Rival Buster, along with the best second best start in the deck now, Starly Seyfert, which can search them out very quickly. We have Triple Black Metal, we talked about already. We have an amazing extender in the form of the Strudo. Easy card to make level 7 synchro monsters just by using any monster on the field that's level 6 or lower. Very, very versatile card and very easy to use. We have Dragunity Phalanx, and then we also have 1 Omni Dragon Rotor, 1 Red Eyes Black Fair Metal Dragon. This is a Gemini version of Red Eyes, so for all intents and purposes, when it's in the graveyard or on the field, it is treated as a normal monster, so it can work with Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. And with your 2 Malefics, you kind of banish your Red Eyes quite quickly, so it's nice to have a full copy, but you don't want too many bricks. For rockets, we've got the Absol plus double rocket recharger, 3 rocket tracer package. We're playing 1 Tempest Dragon Roll of the Storms, level 7 easy to summon monster, 1 the Black Zona Legend. I like this because you normal summon it, tribute effect, summon any level 7 Red Eyes monster from your deck, giving you an easy way to go to your rank 7 plays. We have 1 Supreme King Dragon Darkworm and 1 Supreme King Gate Zero. This is for the combo where I want to use this with the Strudo, and how this works is you use Dragon Ravine or Dragon Shrine as early as possible in a duel, send Supreme King Dragon Darkworm, and while you have no monsters on the field, summon it to the field via its own effect. When this card is summoned to the field, you can add a Supreme King Gate Zero, which is a level 7 Pendulum monster, and then later on in the duel, use Darkworm to make a synchro monster of Old Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon, which can summon your Supreme King Gate Zero if you pull it in your Pendulum Zone. That way, once this is on the field, it's level 7, this is level 7, and you can go into a rank 7 play just like that. Double Allure of Darkness, 1 boot set to launch, 3 Dragon Ravine, 3 Dragon Shrine, 1 Divine Lance, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 for 1, 3 Return of the Dragon Lords, 1 Terraforming, 3 World Legacy Guard Dragon, and for the extra deck, which I'm still not sure about, we have Black Rose Dragon for going second with the Strudo just to blow up your opponent's field, and then you go Guard Dragon combo plays. Barrel Savage, one of your best cards going forward first to set up an Omni Negate on the field. Odd Eyes Meteor Burst, a great extender. Void Ogre Dragon, an alternative option for Borrowload Savage, or if you can manage to get 2 level 8s in a turn, then you could go for Void Ogre and Borrowload Savage. Draco Sack, this is a way of destroying cards on the field. Big Eye, a way of taking your opponent's monsters and stealing them. Triple Red Eyes Metal Flare, 1 Dragon Ignite Romulus. You go into this to go for Dragon Ravine and then set up your Guard Dragon combo play. We have double Heretic Seal, the Heavenly Spears. I don't think you need this many. I've only ever summoned once, but still testing. And what I like about it is that during your opponent's turn, it can summon a level 7 for a later turn. And then Striker Dragon you're using to extend your plays and search out your field spell. So that is my rank eyes build so far. I'm going to now show you a video and what this deck can do. Okay, so here we are into some gameplay here, and we are looking at a decent hand here. We have 1 starter card in the form of Black Metal Dragon, and we have 1 brick in the form of Red Eyes Black Flare Metal Dragon, but we have 3 really good extender cards. So this hand here isn't too bad. I'm actually happy with this hand. And we're going to start off by normal summoning Black Metal Dragon and then using it as a link material for Striker Dragon. This will trigger 2 effects. This will trigger Striker Dragon's effect because it has hit the field, and that will allow you to add Boot Sector Launch from your deck to your hand. Next, we will also activate Black Metal Dragon, and we will be able to add a Red Eyes card from our deck to our hand. And this is kind of why I was thinking about maybe playing a few more Red Eyes cards in this deck. Having just 2 targets is fine for consistency purposes. We don't really want to break with this deck and have too many dead cards, but you can really abuse Black Metal Dragon by summoning it and resummoning it again, just like I'm doing in this situation here. So Black Metal Dragon is being summoned from the graveyard to the field thanks to the card Well Legacy Guard Dragon, and then we're going to use it again for a link material, and that is going to be used to summon out Dragoon Ignite Romulus, another really good extender and searcher for this deck. Now, at this point, the only card I really want to search with Black Metal Dragon is our Malefic Red Eyes Black Dragon, but it's going to activate again, and I don't really have a good target now to add to. So one thing I might want to change with this deck is thinking about what other cards I could maybe use that are Red Eyes, so that if I do have a situation like this, I have more of a chance of searching more cards and gaining more card advantage. In terms of options, one bad option that I'm really thinking about is maybe maxing out on the Gemini Red Eyes and maxing out on the Malefic Red Eyes. The reason why I'm thinking about doing that is because when you summon the Malefic Red Eyes, it banishes the normal Red Eyes from your deck in order to do its summon. And so, but you want to have multiple copies of the Red Eyes in your graveyard for your Black Flare Dragon to summon through its effect, which you'll see in a little bit later on and why that's important. So having a couple more targets for Black Flare to summon out will help out extending your plays a little bit further and improve the boards that we can make. But there are other options. Instead of doing that, we could do Red Eyes Alternative Dragon, or maybe we could do Red Eyes Insight and search out a Spell Trap card. I'm not too sure what to go for yet, but I'll experiment with this deck over time and see if I can improve it. So I've done a bunch of things now. The TLDR is I summoned another level 4 to the field, and I sent the Strudo to the graveyard to use its effect. When the Strudo is in the graveyard, it targets 1 level 4 monster on the field, or 1 level 6 or lower monster on the field. It then reduces its own level by that monster's level and summons itself to the field. The Strudo is a tuner monster, and so we can use it then for a Synchro level 7 play, and we've gone and summoned out Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. As I said in the deck profile part of this video, you normally summon Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon when you have a card of your Pendulum Zone to use. Normally with Supreme King Dark Worm, that would search out your Supreme King Gate 0, and so I would have actually had, like in that situation, 2 level 7s on the field by the time I summon Meteor Burst Dragon, but we don't have access to Supreme King Dark Worm or Gate 0 namely for us to do that. So it made me think something else I want to improve with this deck is that maybe having a different level 7 target than Meteor Burst Dragon. There are no real good level 7 synchros that are good extenders. The only other one I thought was Shooting Riser Dragon, but Shooting Riser Dragon sends a card from your deck to the graveyard, but then it reduces its level by that card, kind of like how the Strudo works. So, and that doesn't really work for us because we want it to be level 7. So, yeah. Other than that, hi Red Eyes, how you doing? Thank you for blowing up my audio. Other than that, I couldn't really find any good like level 7 synchro extender monsters, so I'm gonna play around with that. Maybe you can play more Gate Zeros, but that'll be just more bricks for your deck. Or maybe I'll just use something like Black Rose Dragon, and which is my go second card for Destrudo. But just have to say, yeah, I'll use it and waste it and keep the Meteor Burst for later on, so that I can use this extender if I need to. But anyway, bunch of stuff has happened while I waffled on there. We've summoned out 2 more level 7s. This is the nice thing about Malefic. Malefic is not a once per turn summon. You can summon it as many times as you want to. The only restriction is you can only have 1 in the field. So ideally you want to use 1 to make a rank 7 or a link summon, and then use another and keep on summoning more and more and more. Of course, the more you do that, the more red eyes you have to banish. And if you keep on summoning your red eyes monsters and you have none in your graveyard, like I do right now, you don't have a red eyes to summon through red eyes Flare Metal Dragon's effect, which can summon one out any red eyes normal monster from your graveyard. So maybe I will put in some more targets, but I'm a bit wary of doing that. Mathematically speaking, in a 40 card deck, you only want 3 cards to be bricks or engine requirements or garnets in your deck to not exceed having a high chance of drawing them. But in a 60 card deck, if I continue to increase the size, that might be a little bit more manageable. And there are other engines we can do to compensate playing this as a 60 card deck for sure, because Dragon Link has a lot of options available to it. So we ended our board here with 2 copies of Flare Metal Dragon and also Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spears. And compared to Dragon Link, this board is pretty meh. We don't really have any real interruptions with our opponent. Our Hieratic Seal is a good defensive card and will allow us to remove our opponent's monsters. But Flare Metal is more of a defensive card. It doesn't actually remove our opponent's threats or negate anything. It just is a big boy that's cannot be destroyed by card effects. And what is nice about Flare Metal Dragon though is that he's going to burn our opponent anytime that my opponent activates a card. So my opponent just lost 1,000 life points because he used his Necro Valley Throne. He's now going to activate Gravekeeper's Commandant and search out Necro Valley. It's cool to see people playing Gravekeepers, honestly, to review. I love the Gravekeeper archetype. I've always thought they were kind of cool, and the idea that these are the people protecting others from the Pharaoh's tomb, I've always thought that was a cool idea. And I like the idea that they protect the graveyard, and Necro Valley stops people using the graveyard. I thought the use of Necro Valley was a very good card in terms of design and thematics. Kind of like how zombies like to abuse the graveyard. Necro Valley says it blocks off the graveyard so people can't use it. And I thought that was always really clever. I've always really liked the Gravekeeper archetype. And if you guys enjoy the Gravekeeper archetype and maybe want to see me revisit it, let me know. I would love to give it a try and test it out. It's definitely not anywhere near as good as it used to be, but in terms of, say, being like a rogue meta deck. But they did have some new cards that came out recently, and not recently, but over the last couple of years or so. So it would be nice to go and see what Gravekeepers can get up to. So on to my turn here. During my opponent's turn, I burnt him for 3,000 life points. This is the craziness of Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. My opponent plays and he just keeps on burning his life points down. And that's always good. That's always nice to do because it puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. If just imagine what I could do if I had 3 Red Eyes Flare Metals. He would have lost 4,500 life points. He would be on 3,500 left. So that's kind of the appeal of this. So yeah, it's kind of fun. Just before, we used Dragon Ravine's effect to send the Red Eyes Gemini monster to the graveyard, then send Absolute to the graveyard, and that allowed us to add Rocket Tracer to our hand. And at this point, I'm not going to bother using Rocket Tracer. I shouldn't have really activated Boot Set to launch, to be honest with you, but we're not going to bother with Rocket Tracer. Normally I would go for Borrowed Savage, but I can't take out a Link monster from my graveyard, so Borrowed Savage won't get any counters, and therefore he won't have any negates. So there really isn't a reason to do that. I attacked my opponent with Red Eyes Flare Metal, and he used Magic Cylinder against me, which was scary because because I'm using the Strudo, my life points are quite low. We're playing Duel Links or Speed Duel format life points, where my opponent is playing Advanced format life points. And yeah, Magic Cylinder, normally not a good card. Definitely, I don't recommend playing Magic Cylinder because you're going neg for the cost of a life points. But in this situation, it could have killed me, so yikes. We attacked his Gravekeeper Spy with Red Eyes Flare Metal, and he summoned out Red Eyes Spiritualist. I'm not really too afraid of a Necro Valley back row. They do have a negate card, but other than that, they don't really have a lot of options in terms of monster removal. There is one monster that can do that. I think Gravekeeper Guard can bounce a monster off the field. So yeah, I'm not too afraid of that really. The only option he really has is to summon a monster that's bigger than my Red Eyes Flare and then attack over it, and Gravekeepers aren't that good at getting big monsters to the field too easily. So this is me making a botch here on my turn here. I was going to use Rocket Tracer's effect and then summon out a monster, and I was thinking to myself I can go into a level 8 Synchro from here, but then I realized I can't. I already said about Borrowload Savage, but that wasn't what I was going for. I was actually going for Psy-Frame Lord Lambda, and then I realized, oh wait, Rocket Tracer locks me into dark monsters. I can't summon Psy-Frame Lord Lambda. So that is why Void Ogre Dragon is now in my deck instead of Psy-Frame Lord Lambda, because I realized the only way I'm actually really synchro summoning into 8s in this deck is via the use of Rocket Tracer. So if I can't summon it with Rocket Tracer, there's no real reason for me to have a level 8 synchro in this deck. So that's just something else I have to correct, and this is why I like to do a lot of testing with a deck before I do a profile. But like I said, unfortunately, just very, very short on time today, and yeah, this deck is going to have to be worked on over time. Necro Valley Throne is activated, and he has gone and added Gravekeeper's Guard to his hand. That's pretty much one of the only ways he's going to be able to get rid of my monster. But the more effects he keeps using, the more burn I'm going to do. At this point, if he doesn't get my Red Eyes Flare Metal off the field, he has 2 cards he can activate before he dies. So let's see what he can do with the time he has left. Gravekeeper Spiritualist is activated. I'm not going to chain to it. He's going to use his 2 monsters to do a fusion summon. And this is the one thing I don't like this about the Gravekeepers. The fact that they gave them a fusion summon. I get the idea of giving them a boss monster. That's kind of cool and all of that. But maybe it's just me and the way I used to play it. I don't know. Gravekeepers, to me, has always been a deck about resource management. About outpacing your opponent, locking off the graveyard, and controlling the field through your overwhelming number of resources. But by focusing on fusion summons, you're burning your resources instead of increasing them. And so the monster you summon had better be really, really good. Now, my opponent summoned out Gravekeeper Spiritualist, but fortunately for me, I've had Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spears been on the field for the whole time. And that's a really, really good card for this deck, because all it takes is 2 dragons to use. And so we use his effect, and we're going to get rid of his Spiritualist. And it's kind of good that I had it, because without Seal of the Heavenly Spears on the field, I could have probably died. He could have probably attacked Rocket Tracer and killed me. I could have blown up Rocket Tracers actually, so I wouldn't have died. But still, it's still a very scary situation. But then, yeah, I managed to get rid of it quite easily. He plays Royal Tribute. That's going to burn him, and that's going to be game. So guys, that is a quick look into rank 7 eyes. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's not me really presenting to you a finished deck, but like I said, I will work on it. But I enjoyed the deck. I think it's pretty good at the moment, and later on in the week I'm going to show you a different build. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you soon. Take care.